Hey, what's up? Today I want to show you my recipe for Vlitopita. Vlita in Greek are amaranth. Super delicious. In fact, it is one of my favorite of all time greens. And what I'm going to do first things first is just take my amaranth, and this is actually from my dad's garden. It doesn't look like it's the greatest, but my friends, I promise you, once we're done with this, this is going to be absolutely fantastic. All right, that should do it for our veggies in terms of our greens, our Vlita. Just going to take my pot, which has already come to a boil, and I'm just going to place my greens in here, just like that. So the next part now is actually adding some additional flavor to our Vlita, or to our amaranth. And for this, we're going to use 1 onion, and that's going in there. I'm going to use a little bit of dill. Dill and greens go so amazing together, and that's going to go in here as well. You're going to love this. This is such a beautiful and fresh flavor. This is actually dried mint from my garden. All right, so we got our mint in there. So let me set that to puree and just let that do its thing. Now that we got the initial chopping started, I'm going to take about a 1/4 cup of my Greek extra virgin olive oil. That's going to go in here. And oh my gosh, this is already starting to smell fantastic. This is now basically a puree. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. The inside of this, or the actual onion and everything else, has gone completely, like there's nothing solid left. So that's what we want. This is what's actually going to work inside of our pita when it bakes off. And by the way, we're going to preheat our oven as well, 400 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 200 degrees Celsius. So get that off and going, because what we want is no setbacks. Now, along with this, I am going to crumble in about 150 to 200 grams of feta. And this is actually pretty important. Not only do I use my feta for flavoring, I also use it for seasoning as well, because it's got a certain salty brininess to this. So that's that there. I'm also going to crack in here an egg that's going to put everything together. And all we're going to do is just mix this up here. I'm not going to add any salt to this. Believe me, there's enough feta in here that it's going to carry this. A generous amount of just fresh cracked black pepper is in this, and we are pretty much ready to go. We're ready for our Vlita. All right, so now my amaranth or my Vlita are done. Just going to turn them off. It's been way too long. They are overcooked as per the Greek way. Just going to grab them, and I'm going to throw them into the strainer. This, my friends, is the absolute most important step of this recipe, or any other pita recipe for that matter, is draining of your filling. If this comes out soggy, I guarantee you your pita is going to come out soggy. And if it comes out soggy, like, there's nothing shittier. There's like nothing worse than like a soggy pita. Believe me, it's sad. One last thing I'm going to add to this is about 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. You don't need much. 1/8 of a teaspoon, maybe even less. You could even like eliminate this step altogether. And just give this a quick, another little kind of stir up before we actually start with our assembling of our pita. And I'm going to take now my Vlita. Remember how big or how much these Vlita were before we actually cooked them down. And now they're like almost like nothing. So leave that there, put these in there. And all you're gonna do is just fold this in so that way it gets well incorporated. Got an egg in there for binder. And this is all you're gonna do. Just make sure this is well mixed, well incorporated. So that's there, perfect. I think I'm good with that. Perfect. Now, moving right along, and it's dry, more importantly, or most importantly. I'm gonna take my baking sheet here, and this is really, really easy. I've become hooked on making pitas with puff pastry. A, it's really delicious. I love puff pastry. And B, it's a lot easier to work with than phyllo. And if you're just starting out doing pitas, I recommend starting up with puff pastry, so that way you can you don't have that layering with the phyllo. So all I'm going to do is unfurl or unfold my puff pastry sheet here, and I love this stuff. I absolutely love it. Love it. So take this and be as graceful as you possibly can, and just put this down like this. Center it in your pan, and that's good there. Actually, let me just move that over just a little bit, just to create a little well in here, if you will. See where I'm going with this? So that way our filling just doesn't like run out all over the place. Perfect. Just like that. Alrighty. Good. There's the bottom half. So now I'm gonna take my filling, and again, whatever moisture is in there, I am not adding it. I'm actually tilting away my mixing bowl so the water, whatever liquid, stays in the bowl and not on my pita. Look at that. That's almost, I don't know, an eighth of a cup in there. Yeah, so I definitely don't want that sitting in the bottom of my pita, because then my pita won't crisp up. It'll turn to like this soggy, sad mess, and you know, we don't want that. So get this out of there, just like that. And look at that. Isn't that crazy? That could have been in our pita. So no, thank you. Just make sure you get everything covered, pull it out to the edge. Nothing worse than cutting a piece as well, and then like, you know, certain amount of it is just like phyllo. Nah, we don't want that. Now, our oven's already preheated, so that's one less thing to worry about. And all I'm gonna do now, and take this, I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of my extra virgin olive oil, just a little bit, just like that kiss. You don't want like maybe like a tablespoon. This is one of the few times that we actually use a tablespoon. And I'm just gonna take now my other puff pastry, the top part of this, and do the same deal. Just unfold it, just like that. And here, flip it and pull. Boom. And you're just going to place this over so it goes evenly here, like that. And just move it, like almost like incorporate it around the sides. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this now. So once we've done it all around, like this, I'm going to take the leftover and I'm going to tilt it up, or roll it up, if you will, just like this. And it's going to do its two jobs. It's going to, it's going to keep my filling in there, just like that. And B, it's also going to look really, really nice. It's going to look really pretty when this bakes up and it puffs up. When this bakes off and puffs up. That's perfect, just like that there. Oh, this is going to be so amazing when this comes out. That's perfect. Now, here's the thing. One more thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit of water, and I'm going to brush the top and put a little bit of sesame seeds over this. So just Nice and easy. You don't need much at all, just enough to give it kind of a little sticky layer so that way our sesame seeds can stick to this. Perfect, just like that. So I'm going to take some sesame seeds now. Let me just, why do I always do that? I always get sesame seeds everywhere. And just from a height, just drizzle them all over. You can go as little or as much as you want, or not at all. It is totally up to you. So that's it. Now this is going to go into my 400-degree oven for about 25 to 35 minutes, or until it becomes GBD, baby, golden brown and delicious. All right, showtime. My pita is done to absolute perfection. It's been out of the oven now for about 10-15 minutes. Always good to just, whatever pita you're making, just let it tighten up. So here's the thing now. Let's try and depan this puppy here. And just very carefully, this is just a little bit of gentle persuasion. You don't need like any kind of like brute force here. You know, you're not evicting anybody. This is just, you want to get under it and lift and underneath. Just like that from all sides. So it'll pull away from our baking sheet. All right. I think we're ready to depan here. Let me just gently lift it off and kind of bring it down. There we go. Just like that. Look at that. That, my friends, is amore. Let's leave that there. Look how beautiful this is. Look how freaking gorgeous. Now, I will tell you with these, I use a pizza cutter. It's just the way it is. You can use a really sharp knife if you have one, but I just want to take a little kind of taste here. So I'm going to cut a little piece here. And they cut really beautifully with a pizza cutter. With a pizza cutter, they cut really, really beautifully. Look at this. And it's still crunchy. And what do we say? No to soggy pita. All right, take a little piece of this. It's still really, really hot though, eh? Yeah, look at that. Look at this beauty here. It's still really, really hot. It's just, but it still has a chance to reconstitute itself. And if you notice, under here, right here, not soggy at all. That's the name of the game. Drain your filling. Oh, sorry. For all you Vlita lovers, or those who are into the Amaranth, this is a definite must make. Very simple. Even simpler that I used the puff pastry instead of the phyllo sheets. Super, super crazy good and very easy to make. The greens, onion, the dill, the egg, the feta, and the mint. That's pretty much, oh, and a little bit of nutmeg. A little bit of a little kiss in the background saying, like, what is that? This is it, my friends. This is it. So that's it for this episode on my Vlitopita, or my Amaranth Pizza. I almost said pizza. My Amaranth Pita. Please try and make this if you can. Like I said, find the amaranth. Use spinach for spanakopita. Use chard. You can use whatever, just about any kind of green will work. I thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, or at least please consider subscribing. Check out this recipe and so many others online at kensgreektable.com. And until next time, take care of yourselves and each other, and I will definitely see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.